What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Jordan here, the FitBiz Podcast. I'm going to share with you today why Alex Hormozi got something massively wrong. I'm also going to share with you why money kind of hates you, why you repel money away. You'll want to listen to this episode, specifically if you want to know how to attract clients easier in your health and fitness business. If you want to demand much higher rates and also attract wealthier people who can actually afford your services. And if you want to demand just higher amounts of money, let's say in your career, or maybe you want to make what I like to call fuck you money. All right, what's fuck you money? Well, I'll give you a quick example. A few weeks ago, I was traveling with, Aaron, our son Jackson, and typically what we do when we have luggage and stuff in Jackson, I'll drop them off at the gate and then I'll go return our rental car. Well, what happened was we were kind of running late because we partied the night before for an event. So we were a little hungover, a little sleep deprived, and I basically dropped them off. I go back and return the rental car. This was actually in Phoenix, now that I recall. Yeah, in the Phoenix airport. The rental car center is like forever away from the terminal. So anyways, I got them dropped off, returned the rental car. By the time I made it back, I was just not paying attention. I got on the tram and I got off on the wrong tram. And so long story short, I missed my flight. So my family, Aaron and Jackson, they made it onto the flight fine. I missed mine. And I was miserable, just upset, annoyed. And I'm like, hey, can you get me out today? And they're like, well, we don't have a flight until 5 p.m. And it was only like 11 a.m. I'm like, what do you have today? I don't care what it costs. Just tell me what you have like ASAP. They're like, well, you might be able to make this flight in like 45 minutes, or it might've been closer to an hour. It's first class. It's like $5,000. I'm like, sign me up. I just dropped $5,000 on a ticket right there so I could get home. And, it didn't really matter. Like, I was also looking up private flights. I found a private flight for $23,000. They could have gotten me home. And it was funny because when I shared this with Aaron, I kind of price anchored her. And I was like, hey, I was going to buy this private flight, but I found this other first class ticket for $5,000. So instead of spending 23, I'm going to spend 5. And it was kind of a funny thing. Anyways, to me, that's kind of fuck you money, right? But in all seriousness, it also might mean like Aaron and I have been able to establish an 8-figure net worth, over the last 5.5 years. We've done $23 million in sales in IFCA, our mentorship and licensing company for health and fitness pros. And we've also done $3 million plus in sales in our fitness business or health coaching business before we sold it. We've been able to retire both of our moms. We bought a $1.6 million lake house for vacation property that we also use as a rental or income property. We're also starting our own nonprofit where we're going to donate 5% of our entire bottom line to charity. Because like Hormozi did get right, he says that if you don't think money can buy happiness, you've never given enough away. And I share all that as a preclude because I don't want you guys to think about money as something that's just padding your pockets and why we need more money. It's more so what you can do with that money, okay? Your family, your lineage, your legacy, your impact on the world. But anyways, so Hormozi talks about in his book, $100 Million Offers. And I don't know if we're going to publish this on YouTube, but I have an image here that shows his value equation. If you haven't heard of this or seen it, maybe Google it real quick, Hormozi value equation. But imagine a math equation, basically like a division problem. So on the very top of the denominator line, you have two values. You have dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement. And then underneath that, on the bottom half of the equation, you have time delay times effort and sacrifice. You're basically trying to increase the top half, decrease the bottom half. And this leads to a more valuable offer that you can charge more, attract clients easier. And so essentially it's just a formula that explains how to make your offer more valuable, right? Because what you want to do is increase the dream outcome up top, which means a specific problem for a specific person that you solve in a very painful and growing market, which fitness is definitely one of those things. But in order to make your offer more valuable, you have to know who you're helping, what problem you're solving, right? And how you solve it. So anyways, if you can increase that and then also increase the perceived likelihood of achievement, which is basically like a unique way that you help people, plus loads of social proof, case studies, even if you have guarantees. And then if you can reduce the bottom half, which means time, make it faster, all right? Like Hormozi says, fast beats free. And so the faster you can get a client a result, the quicker or the more valuable it becomes, right? And then on the other side, it says effort and sacrifice, which is like reducing the amount of effort and sacrifice, right? This might mean helping your clients reach their weight loss goals without stepping foot in a gym or without having to give up their favorite foods, whatever the case. Well, herein lies the problem, however, okay? So if you're looking at the screen here, I'm showing 2 examples of 2 different offers. And let's say you're a health coach or a fitness coach, and let's say you help your clients lose 20 to 30 pounds, right? That's the dream outcome. Now, offer A is your offer, which is your X program or method or whatever. Offer B is a, let's say fat incineration pill, that people also are looking at as a solution, even though they don't, we know that that's not going to get them sustainable results, but they don't, right? And so, okay, dream outcome, lose 20 pounds for both programs. perceived likelihood of achievement for your program is kind of low because maybe they've already tried similar approaches and have failed at, hiring coaches, personal trainers, sustainable methods. Whereas the fat incineration pills, there's probably like loads of testimonials, before and after pictures that are probably bullshit. They guarantee results, etc. Now let's look at time delay. Your lean body program, your method might take them about 3 or 4 months to lose, let's say 20 pounds. With the fat incineration pill or whatever the quick fad thing is, they're going to tell you 1 month, right? And let's talk about effort and sacrifice. This is the big one. You have to, show up to the gym or work out at home every day. You have to cook healthy food. You have to change lifelong habits that are super ingrained, right? Where on the other side, you have to swallow a pill. That's it. Okay, I share this because we're competing against offers that to your prospect are a lot more valuable than yours. You have these GLP-1 receptor agonists like semaglutide or Ozempic, that people are jumping all over, right? You have fat burning pills, trendy bullshit fad diets. And very soon you're going to have AI, right? AI trainers and things like that are even much cheaper than you. So how do we compete? Well, it's my opinion that we compete through our own worth. And I dub this called the intrinsic worth law. The reason I say this is because we know that in fitness and in health, people buy coaches more than they buy coaching. They buy you even more than your offer. And the intrinsic law, basically the law states that you'll never out-earn your own self-worth or your own intrinsic worth. Because the reality is, whatever you made last month is most likely exactly what you're worth. That might sting, but the universe does not overpay or underpay anyone. The universe doesn't have typos on your Wave account or your PayPal payments. It literally pays precisely in proportion to the value that you're providing the world. So how do we go about increasing our own intrinsic worth so that when we show up, we attract better clients, we stand out, right? We're the offer more so. People are buying us. And I think that's how you're going to be able to compete against these new innovations, these new, drugs and AI and all these like faster, simpler like ways to lose weight in the future. So how do we go about doing this? Well, I created my own formula that's called the Intrinsic Worth formula. Okay, so it's similar as the Hormozi, where you have on the top half of the equation, you have your money mindset, okay? You have your persuasion power, then you have your impact skills, and then underneath of that is your action quotient, all right? So the idea is first on the top, your money mindset. This has to do with your attitude and beliefs towards wealth, financial success, and personal worth. Again, you've got to go deep into the roots of your relationship with money. And Aaron's going to dive into this on the next episode, but it's like these early money beliefs that you have ingrained in you through childhood, through however you grew up. I grew up in a really unique situation where my mom and dad were divorced and my mom was broke. I mean, we were on food stamps. We had hamburger helper every night. She had to work like 2 or 3 jobs. It was really stressful. And then I would go see my dad on the weekends or every other weekend. And he had money, like he, had a decent business, middle class. I think he probably made $200-300 grand a year, but we were able to go on trips, buying 4-wheelers, having all these experiences. But what I found and realized at a young age was both of my parents were equally miserable. So I realized like money doesn't buy happiness, but I saw my dad having a lot more fun, right? Even though he was miserable, we got to go snowboarding and ride 4-wheelers and all this other stuff. So I'm thinking, well, there's obviously a cost to being broke and there's a cost to being rich. Like my dad's not super happy, right? But at least the cost to being rich has some upside, right? And my dad didn't really use wealth in the way that I am today that even creates more fulfillment, but that's another topic. So I realized like, oh, this is interesting, right? I got to experience both sides of the equation. But anyways, you're probably dealing with deep ingrained shitty money belief habits, all right, that we got to get over. So the second thing, persuasion power. This is your power of communication, your ability to influence others, specifically with sales, marketing, and your coaching interactions. Because if you're like the better communicator, the person who can communicate their worth and their offer is always going to beat the better coach, right? You might be a better practitioner. You might have more certifications, more education. But if somebody less qualified than you is a better communicator, they're going to get clients over you, right? So third thing at the top of the equation is your impact skills. I define this as your tangible and intangible value that you can actually contribute to your field. How good are you at solving your clients' problems? And maybe most importantly, how good are you at the game of business, right? Because those are skills as well, right? And then all we do is we take that number, we add everything up top, and then we divide it by a quotient. So the higher the quotient at the bottom, the bigger the total number is. And that is action quotient. So this means the amount of intensity and relentless aptitude you have towards taking massive, reckless action. The higher the action quotient, honestly, the less the above things really matter. Like you could be decent at the above things, but if you just take massive, reckless action, you're going to increase your value quotient. Okay. This has to do with your money mindset, your persuasion power, your impact skills. And you just have to take massive action. If you do these things, you'll have no choice but to become really wealthy. And if you're taking massive action, then the things on the top, they end up multiplying. You get better at the things up top, right? That's all I have for you today. Erin is going to break down each of these variables in more detail in the next episode, where, you know, she'll break down like, how do you go about actually improving each of these things, tactical advice. And so again, like this is going to allow you, if you focus on increasing your worth and using the Hormozi formula, if you have a good offer and you have these things as your own worth and your own value to the marketplace, then nobody can compete with you, right? This is going to allow you to earn more money. You're going to be able to not only attract clients easier, but attract the better clients, the people who can afford your coaching. You're going to demand higher rates, ultimately just have a better life and a better business. All right. So that's all I got for you for today, guys. Hopefully you found some use case in this, some value. This is also a presentation that we're giving at the Hybrid Health Summit here in just a few days. We're going to be presenting with Bajors Koulian, Jen Gottlieb, Jordan Sayat, bunch of big names that I'm really excited about. Even Kevin Hart's trainer is going to be there. So yeah, I'll make sure to share that recording with you guys on the show once we're done. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you on the next show.